The movie begins with an explanation about a bombing incident in April of 2017. The text explains how the U.S. military deployed a giant non-nuclear bomb on a remote insurgent province on a mysterious target. However, the truth is far beyond these claims. Captain Kate is leading a squad of fighter pilots when a bunch of missiles unexpectedly attack. The pilots take countermeasures to defend themselves, but it is ineffective. Kate is reminded of some childhood memories with her family at home as one of the missiles hits her plane. When a gang of militants show up there with their guns, Kate collapses to the ground and is saved by one of her teammates. One of Kate's teammates orders her to act lifeless, while another tries to shoot the insurgent but is stopped. In an effort to deceive the rebels, Kate keeps acting lifeless, and she even manages to dispatch two of them. One enemy attacks Kate with his sword, but her buddy, who still has some life in him, shoots him down. Kate says a tearful goodbye to her teammate and attempts to radio for assistance, but no one answers. One of the rebels actually made it out alive and was reunited with his fellow fighters. When the rebels locate Kate, they use their weapons to attack her. She is caught off guard and attempts to fire back at them while standing her ground. Kate makes an effort to battle her opponents despite being far outnumbered and succeeds in landing a few rounds, but she quickly runs out of ammunition. Kate finds a puzzling entrance to a cave-like facility while looking for refuge and chooses to hide from the insurgents. The interior, which Kate investigates with one of her light sticks, gradually lights up, and Kate realizes it is some sort of bunker. She is pursued by the insurgents, with whom she briefly exchanges gunfire. After some exploring, Kate encounters a mysterious area with a decaying corpse while attempting to dodge her assailants. When Kate notices this, she is confused. She looks about the room and discovers a piece of paper with some Russian phrases scribbled on it. Kate quickly puts the puzzles together and realizes that this is a testing lab for human subjects. She notices multiple pods with bodies inside. The insurgents also make it to the lab by the time Kate finds and steals a portable hard drive. When they discover the corpses within the pods, they are startled, and Kate takes advantage of this diversion to launch a surprise attack. To defend herself, she slaughters one of the insurgents and snatches his weapon. The insurgents begin shooting at Kate and eventually destroy one of the pods. As a result, the body inside the pod is blasted out. Kate is able to escape the gunfire and locate a vent. Kate carefully moves through the vent while avoiding the insurgents' searches. Suddenly, the fallen body wakes up and is revealed to be a deadly monster with creepy teeth. One of the insurgents is slaughtered by it, and it devours his flesh. Meanwhile, Kate is caught by an insurgent, but she uses a flare to take him down while climbing up a ladder. Another insurgent holds onto Kate's leg and doesn't let go, no matter how many times she kicks him on his face. The creature emerges out of nowhere and destroys him with a single strike. Kate, who is startled and perplexed, flees and narrowly avoids the monster by exiting. However, she also sustains damage as a result. As Kate's weapon shots did not finish off the monster, she ties a chain around the doors to keep it inside. Kate is confronted by another insurgent waiting outside, who is nicknamed Beardy, but he quickly runs away after noticing the monster. Kate struggles to reach safety, but as her injuries worsen, time starts to run out. Unexpectedly, a group of American troops arrive and discover Kate. They admit that they were dispatched to seek her out. Jade, one of the troops, investigates Kate's body carefully and removes her necklace in the process. She also takes Kate's hard drive out of her pocket. When Kate begs the team to leave the province, the soldiers don't believe her and take her to their camp instead. When Kate meets Major Finch, she finds him to be unwelcoming. Additionally, Beardy is captured by the American forces. Kate informs Finch about the Russian bunkers and the deadly monster, but he doesn't pay heed to her because he thinks it's outrageous. Although Kate is convinced that what she saw was true, Finch chooses to make fun of her. At that point, Sergeant Hook appears and supports Kate, but Finch still chooses not to follow Kate's advice. Along with British soldiers Sergeant Oswald Jones, Trooper Dave Bromhead, and Trooper Vince Hughes, Kate also meets Sergeant Tom Hook, Corporal Kip Wilkes, Corporal Jade Lafayette, Privates Dwayne Everett, Eddie Serrano, and Tucker O'Neill. Later, Kate confronts Corporal Jade for stealing her locket, but she tries to act innocent. The women are about to get into a fist fight, but Hook shows up and orders Jade to return Kate's locket. Hook then talks to Kate and tries to reassure her that she is in good hands. Kate wants to know more about Hook, so he says that he lost two of his soldiers in combat due to his own recklessness. Meanwhile, Finch opens up a letter addressed to him in his office and shows signs of worry. It prompts Finch to call his colonel and report his interaction with Kate. In another tent, Kate is being treated for her injuries by Dr. Wilkes, and she notices Beardy next to her. Kate asks Beardy to speak up, as he also saw a monster, but Wilkes tells her that Beardy doesn't know any English. Hook enters the tent and starts a conversation with Kate about what she saw in the bunker. Kate grabs a piece of paper and scribbles down the Russian text she noticed in the lab. Unfortunately, no one appears to comprehend what the writing is saying, but suddenly Beardy reveals he can speak both English and Russian. He explains that the writing means, "Do not open," and that the Soviets were the ones who had everything planned out. According to Hook, if the strange bunkers are Soviet in origin, they must be at least 30 years old, because no human being could have survived for that long. Beardy claims that whatever is down there isn't a person, though. As night falls, it appears as though the monsters are awakening from their sleep and emerging from their pods. The monsters are also able to unlock doors and leave the bunker. It turns out that Finch is being discharged voluntarily. He therefore intends to use the colonel as leverage by using the hard disk that Jade discovered. Outside, the soldiers are on the lookout for potential rebels. But Hook is still cautious after what Kate and Beardy told him. Suddenly, one by one soldiers keep disappearing. Another one spots a monster. They begin shooting at the monsters. But the monsters are very fast and are able to avoid the bullets. As the soldiers try to prevent the monsters from breaking into their camp, Finch learns about the attack and orders his soldiers to kill the monsters on sight. Eventually, the monsters break into the camp, and things get even worse when one enters the major's tent. Finch tries shooting at the monster, but he runs out of bullets. When he tries to bring out a bigger gun, another monster breaks into Wilkes' tent and attacks Kate. Strangely, it uses its long tongue to strangle Kate. Luckily, Beardy saves Kate by slicing the monster's tongue and stabbing it. Things get worse as more soldiers are killed by the brutal invasion, and even Finch struggles against the monster fighting him. Now, Kate joins Hook and the remaining survivors. The team decides to split up to save Finch, and they reach him in time. As the group enters the tent, Finch is able to escape and finish the monster with his bat, but he is also struggling with his injuries. He wants to be left alone, but is carried by his soldiers to the remaining group. There they are attacked once more, but Kate gets on top of the monster and slashes it repeatedly. There are too many monsters to handle, so the team decide to hide inside an empty cargo container. Feeling confused, the soldiers ask Beardy if he knows anything else about the monsters. Beardy talks about the Soviets invading his country, and mentions how the monsters also started showing up around that time. Beardy says that in the past, his father was a part of the hunting team to take down monsters, but he was lost during his mission. The sun rises and the monsters run away, but they also take all the monster corpses with them. The soldiers struggle to determine their next course of action. After some searching, they come across a monster's carcass inside Finch's tent. They deliver it to Wilkes for analysis. Despite his lack of confidence, he chooses to proceed with the examination. Wilkes notices that the monster has some quite sharp teeth, and this makes Kate think that the teeth could perhaps belong to a shark. After some more observations, Wilkes concludes that the monsters can't stand sunlight because their bodies are not attuned to UV rays the same way as humans are. Wilkes is astonished to discover that the monster truly has human organs when he tears into the monster's body and removes some of its internal organs. Everyone is confused to hear this, but that's when Finch says that these creatures are hybrids mixed with humans. He tells Kate that the hard drive she discovered has all the information they need, and expresses regret for having questioned her. Finch continues by saying that the Soviets had discovered a means to incorporate alien DNA into people, which is why the American intelligence army had been researching this region for some time. It all began in December 1979, when some Soviets came across an alien spaceship in the mountain. Finch states that this was the real reason why the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, because they needed the alien DNA, and the Afghan people were the test subjects. Finch also claims that Army intelligence told him that the Russian invasion of Afghanistan was a cover for the Russians to capture the monsters for use as bioweapons, after they stole extraterrestrial DNA from a crashed spaceship and mated it with human DNA. Kate is abruptly attacked by tentacles from the corpse, which momentarily take control of her thoughts. Finch gives himself up so that a grenade can destroy the monster. To destroy the bunker underneath, Kate, Beardy, Hook, Wilkes, Lafayette, Jones, and Brom head mount an expedition. Wilkes stays outside to run the winch on a truck, so the others may enter the bunker through an elevator shaft. Hook is taken captive by creatures, but Kate organizes the rescue operation. When the soldiers uncover a tank harboring a huge creature, they realize the Russian experiments were far more bizarre than they had previously believed. Hook also tries to fight back and eliminates one of the monsters. He tries to radio Kate to inform his location. He tries to find his way to another, when he is suddenly confronted by a monster. Meanwhile, the doctor is attacked by some of the insurgents, who noticed his American vehicle. They start shooting at him. Inside the bunker, more monsters start to get out of the pod. Hook and the rest of the group finally meet, and they try to escape and lock the door. But someone needs to stay behind to keep the door shut. The British soldier Jones volunteers to stay behind, and convinces the others to run away. Soon, another monster follows them, and Jade stays behind to fight it. Kate wants to help her, but Hook asks Kate to stay with the team inside the elevator. Jade struggles against her opponent, but is able to gain the upper hand and end it with a fire extinguisher. However, another monster shows up and chews off her face as the underground complex comes to life. Jones detonates himself in order to eliminate a pack of demons. A beast pierces Bromhead's skull with its claw. Just as the elevator lowers the Humvee on top of them, Beardy discovers that one of the humanoid animals is his mutant father. Wilkes tries to fend off the rebels outside in the meantime. Returning to the surface, Kate and Hook save Wilkes. In order to escape a bomb being dropped on the bunker, the three remaining soldiers have to rapidly flee the location. Kate, Hook, and Wilkes are aware that a covert military conspiracy is still attempting to subjugate the creatures. The movie ends with the three trying to figure out how to start their vehicle.